Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Jill. Thank you for joining me for today's quick do anywhere Planksgiving workout. You can stay in your jammies for this workout. The only equipment you need is a mat, and I suggest either a rolled up towel, a Pilates ball, or a yoga block. We're going to use those in our plank moves. Even if you've been doing planks for years and years and years and years, I promise when we incorporate these tools, we feel new muscles and just kind of a light bulb sometimes goes on, like an aha with our plank form. So we will be alternating between one plank move and then one supine move where we are on our stomach working the core muscles that are in our back. Although a plank is a total body move working our back as well. So go ahead, start your music, grab your tool of choice. I'm going to use my Pilates ball and meet me on the mat in a forearm plank. So shoulders over elbows, crown of the head drawing towards the front of the room, gaze a couple of inches in front of you, press through your heels behind you, and then maybe imagine isometrically dragging your elbows back towards your toes as you drag your toes towards your elbows. Remember to breathe. Relax your shoulders. I'm shaking already. Okay, so put your tool off to the side and we're going to come down onto our bellies for our first supine move, which is going to be opposite arm leg swimmer. So extend your arms out shoulder height. And as you exhale, lift opposite arm and opposite leg, squeezing the glute. If you want to make this harder, you're going to hover your opposite hand and your opposite leg while you're doing the work. Exhaling as you lift, inhaling as you lower. So using that breath, the exhale, to keep our core nice and engaged, and maybe lift just a little bit higher. Okay, we're going to come into a high plank hold. So bring the ball back between your knees, between your upper thighs, and come into a high plank. So the wrist creases are facing the top edge of the mat. All 10 fingers are spread nice and wide. Imagine squeezing that ball up to someone who's standing over you. So your inseams of your pants or your pajamas or whatever you're wearing, spiraling up towards the ceiling. Pressing the ground away from you. And then again, imagine that isometric pull, pulling your palms back towards your toes and your toes towards your palms. All right, come down to your knees. We're going to come into some superheroes with our upper body. So keep your low body glued to the mat. Bring your fingertips behind your ears. And as you exhale, lift your chest up and away from the mat. And inhale to lower. As you exhale and come up, pull your belly button even further back towards your spine and keep it there as you lower. Relax your shoulders. Okay, back into a plank move. We're coming back up into that high plank, and this time we're going to do T rotations where we rotate from side to side into a side plank. So squeeze your quads, squeeze your butt, press your heels back behind you, and then roll to your left side. Come back to center, roll to your right side, hold in that side plank, and then come back to center. So imagine there's a little fire burning on the mat, and you want to keep your belly and your side body as far away from that little fire as possible. All right, now we're going to come back in to superheroes, but this time we're going to lift our feet, our legs, as well as our upper body. Exhale, everything lifts. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Keeping that belly button pulled back towards the spine, core engaged to keep that low back safe. And then when you come up, keep your gaze a few inches out in front of you. Okay, we're coming into a side plank hold. So I'm going to come onto my left forearm. My heel and my elbow are in a line. I'm going to bring that ball between my upper thighs. Remember, there's always an option in a forearm plank to bring this supporting leg down with the knee bent. And then focus on the rainbow with your side body. Reaching that left arm either straight up, like maybe you lift yourself by reaching up towards the ceiling, or maybe just drawing it overhead. Remember, you can take a break at any time and come back into the move. Okay, we're coming back into one more super variation. This time we're going to do a lat pull down in our super. So we're going to extend our arms out long like we did in our opposite arm leg swimmers. And as we exhale and lift, the heels and the side of the foot draw out, the elbow draws into the side body. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale, pull it back. Inhale, lengthen. You can always come all the way down to the mat, and then exhale, lift, and pull back. Imagine there's a little thumbtack between your belly button and the mat that will remind you to keep your belly button pulled back towards your spine. And then squeeze those elbows down into your side. All right, I'm going to come to the other end of the mat for the right side body plank. We did the left, now we're coming on to the right. So right forearm parallel to the short edge of the mat. Grab the ball, bring it in between your thighs, and then reach up with the left fingertips. Hug the shoulders down and back into their sockets, and give a press into that right forearm to create that rainbow on the left side body. On the right side body. And then you can reach that arm over your ear if that feels good. Just don't collapse towards the mat. Open your chest towards the ceiling. Continuing to pull your belly button back towards your spine. Lift the corners of your mouth. Create a rainbow there as well. All right. Now we're going to come into what is called a starfish, so similar to those supers. We're going to start on our belly. In this round, we're going to keep the tops of the legs glued to the mat, and we're going to swim both arms back, lift your chest, and then swim them forward. Exhale, lift, reach those pinkies towards one another. Inhale, circle it forward and lower. Exhale, lift. Think about that little thumbtack. Okay, our next plank move is military or commando plank, where we're going to do up-down planks. So we're going to start in that high plank position, shoulders over palms, over wrists, and then we're going to bring our right elbow down to where our right palm was, left elbow to where the left palm was, and then press up left, press up right, and then we'll switch each time, alternating the lead hand. So keeping those quads engaged, squeezing your glutes. Think back to that fire on the mat. Exhale as you press up, and inhale as you come down. So I hope you're doing this on Thanksgiving. I hope you're squeezing this in for yourself. So we're going to come back to the starfish. This time we're going to use our legs as well. So as we swim our arms back, we're going to engage our glutes, lift our legs. And if you'd like to make this even harder, you can extend your legs out to the side by pressing through the pinky edge heel of the foot, just like we did in those superheroes earlier. So palms stay facing down, and think about squeezing the pinky fingers towards one another once your hands get as far back as they can go. Okay, now we're going to come back into a forearm plank. And we're going to do hip dips. So organize, shoulders over elbows, squeeze the quads, squeeze the glutes, and then we dip side to side. So keep your gaze forward. I know I just looked at the camera. I was making sure that it was going. I had this moment where I was like, oh no, what if I didn't hit record? And then I'd have to do it over again, which would be good for me for strengthening purposes. Not so good. It would just be frustrating. So rainbowing up at the back, and then dipping the hip at the side. Alrighty, we have two more moves. We're coming into a locust. So if you're a yogi, this is not a new pose for you. So extend your arms back. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, lift your chest. Squeeze your triceps up towards the ceiling, pinkies up towards the ceiling. Inhale to lower. You can lower all the way or you can hover. And then exhale, lift. Check in with your front core. Are you imagining that little thumbtack? Maybe you can lift your chest a little bit higher. I can really feel this in my triceps. I feel it in my little supporting muscles that run along my spine. That's why planking and spinal strengthening are so good for our posture. They work basically every muscle in our body. Okay, we have one more. We're gonna come into a forearm plank. So elbows back towards toes, toes towards elbows. Squeeze your towel, block or ball, and we're just gonna dip our knees down and come back up. Pressing through those heels, but drawing the toes forward. Drawing your shoulders back, but the crown of your head lengthens forward. If every muscle in your body isn't shaking right now, we need to talk. Okay, that was our 15-minute Planksgiving, no excuses, do anywhere, wear anything workout. I'm so glad you made these 15 minutes for yourself today. And like I said, this isn't only a Thanksgiving workout. You can use it a couple times a week as a finisher to a cardio workout, or just a couple times a week on its own, and you will be so amazed by how much stronger your core gets and your posture becomes just from incorporating planks. All right, guys, have a fantastic day. I'll see you back here next time. Thanks for joining me.